Hi guys, I'm back for my next movie review. This one is, of course, Army of Darkness. The made the '90s, somewhat a little time after the original Evil Dead. Sometime after Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is basically a remake of the first movie, so that's the reason why I don't really want to get into a review on that one particularly. Uh, anyway, Army of Darkness doesn't really have all that complex of a plot. It starts out with a little flashback from the original Evil Dead, where he reviews what they did, what happened in the previous movie, and turns out that our hero Ash was sucked into this portal, and his hand is actually but there's this part where he cuts his hand off, and he has a chainsaw for a hand, so that pretty much explains that. That's pretty much in Evil Dead 2. I think that's the story behind that. It's not really all that complex per se. So basically, he comes to this ancient Great Britain time, back in time, and his car even gets sucked into the portal also, and he falls onto the ground, and so does his car. And there's this guy that everybody seems to hate. This guy, I can't remember his name, but it's something the Red, Henry the Red. That's his name, and the guys, the knights that think that he's actually one of Henry's men, and and he goes, no, no, and they drag him out to the king, and they said that he's one of Henry's men. And he's and they drag out Mr. Fancy Pants, which is Henry the Red, and he says he's never seen this airhead before. I don't want to go. I don't want to say the word because that's a curse word, but he has his own saying of saying that. And the guys, and then Henry says, "Well, I don't think they're going to listen to you, lad." And the villagers, they said that he should go ahead and get executed. And there's this lady that's eating this bread, and I don't want to get into much detail about that one either because that's against the rules of YouTube. But she has a saying that's really funny, and the townsfolk start panning with the camera. They all start panning the camera. To this Bruce Campbell, and they grab the soldiers grab him and toss him into the pit. Whereas there's this deadite that's in the pit, and Ash has to fight the deadite, and he rubs with the deadite a little bit, and he basically, he wins. There's this spikes that closes on the pit, and Ash climbs out, and of course the deadite dies, and basically, so Ash is really upset by this, and he says, "Okay, so anyway." If any one of you primitives so much as touch me, he says that I'm from the future basically, and this is my boomstick, and he has his shotgun, and he says it's from S-Mart, you can find it in the hardware department or something like that. Smith & Wesson model, about about $300 you can get it. And shop smart, shop S-Mart. You got that? And the people are jumping from that. And he says, who wants some? Huh? And there's this guy that he looks at, and he goes, how about you? Huh? How about you? You want some? And so basically, they have this little talk with the he says that all right, so how do I get home? And he has this talk with these elders, and they said that they can send him home. They have the power to send him home, but he has to run a little errand first to go get the Necronomicon from the cradle of the cemetery where it's the resting place where it is. And there's this lady that that's really nice to him, and she serves him and everything, and gives him a blanket, and he says, "Ooh, good, another horse blanket." And he kisses her, and he basically he has his, I don't want to get into too much detail about that because I think that's against the rules. Let's just say that they have a fun time together, okay? Anyway, he goes ahead and gets on his horse, and he kisses the girl goodbye, and he goes off on the quest to go get the Necronomicon, and he does, and he has to, he has a tough time because he has 3 little books. Well, basically 4 little books that he has to, or 3 or 4 that he has to choose from. They never said anything about 3 books, and they say he has to say something before he takes the book off the cradle exactly, and he says it for basically he says it every word, and he coughs for the last word. He doesn't really say it, and he says, okay, all right then. And he grabs the book off the cradle, and he says, I said it! And then, everything just goes, completely, haywire, because he messed up. He misspoke the words. And, the skeletons come out of the ground, well, some of the hands come out of the ground, and they have this fun time with him where they try to poke him in the eyes, and he does this little number like Abbott Costello used to do, and the skeleton grabs his tongue, and he gets up, and he gets on his horse, and he goes, it's okay, I've done my part. Ah! And he decides to go ahead and go back to the village with the Necronomicon, and the people are really ecstatic because the promised one has returned with the book, and he says that everything is fine, and here's your blankety blank book, and he says that so did you say the words correctly? And he said, yeah, basically I didn't say every last syllable, but basically I said it, yes. And he says, belly aching fool, when you misspoke the words, the army of the Deadites arose. To us, yes, the book does have the power to send you back, but to us, it is useless. So, and then he says, well, you better keep up your end of the bargain and send me home. And the king says that since we are men of our word, we will honor our bargain. And he says, that's good. So let's get to work. And the elderly man says, ugh, wretched excuse for a man. And and Ash, he's pretty upset by this, and the girl comes up to him, from earlier that he made out with, and she says that I still have faith in thee. And what about those words you said in private. And he says, "Oh, that's just pillow talk, baby." And she calls him a coward, and she walks away. And he said, "It's over. I didn't have what it took." And so basically, they have this part where the book is being guarded inside the castle, and the Deadites assemble to after. It turns out that Ash actually does have an evil self from earlier that kind of sprang out of Ash's body after Ash drunk something. I think that's what he did. And there's this part I want to get into a little bit where the little versions of himself are on the ground, and the camera pans up to him, and he goes, "London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down," and he tries to stomp on one of them, and one of them has this really big fork, stabs him in the foot, and he goes, "Ah!" And then the little fun me's they sing, "My fair lady." So anyway, let me get into more about here. Anyway, the evil version of Ash. There's this good Ash, and there's bad Ash. Well, you see, Ash, the hero, is the good version of Ash, and the one that he buried and killed is the bad version of Ash, and he comes back from the grave. And he's basically just skull and bones, basically. And he symbols this army of Deadites, army of the dead, you might want to call it that, and army of darkness. That's what that is. And they have their little group together, and he says, "Say hello to the boys." And he turns out that earlier they kidnapped Ash's love interest, and she says that I may look bad, but I feel good. And so I don't want to get into much detail because obvious reasons, against the rules. But there's a few parts in there I can't get into much detail about. Just say it's rated R material. And so basically, there's this fight scene, where they have to protect the book, and the army comes up to the castle, and they ask, and the bad Ash asks one of the generals, where's the book? And he says, "Up there, my lord. Up there is where is the most likely place." And he says, "Good. Let's go get my book." And forward march, and they have this little bagpipes, and so there's this elaborate fight scene, lasts about 15 minutes or so, and I don't know, it's something like that. And Ash fights, with this improved version of his car that he basically made into this super weapon, and he drives around. He runs over some of the skeletons with the car, and the lady comes up, and she's in her normal self, and she's all extravagant and everything. And he goes, and he gets distracted by her, and he crashes the car. And so basically, the Bad Ash grabs the book, after he crushed his pathetic army. And Ash, fights him for a little bit, and puts him on the catapult, grabs the book away after he cuts the book from his hand, and catapults him into the sky, and he blows up, because there's this explosive that's on the catapult. And so basically, Ash taught the people how to fight, which is really cool, I guess, with spears and things like that. And the Henry the Red ends up joining because the numbers are too small. And later on, they Henry the Red and the King hug and they cheer because that's the end of their little rivalry there. And Ash says that and they send him home. They send him home, and he kisses the girl, and he basically he has to say the words that he said earlier. He said it. He basically says them. Every syllable, basically, and he comes back to normal time at S-Mart, and he's doing his thing, and he said all this time he's been telling one of his coworkers this story, and he says he could have been king. He could have stayed and become king. And there's this lady that says, "I'll swallow your soul," and he says, "Come get some." And he shoots it with his shotgun. And the girl that he was talking to earlier, the new Linda, holds her, and it's another Linda. It's not the same Linda from Evil Dead 1. And he says, "I could have been king, but in my own way, I am king." And he kisses her and kind of tips her over and holds her, and he says, "Hell to the king, baby." And then of course the theme music comes up, and then roll credits. Anyway, Army of Darkness is a good movie.
Army of Darkness is definitely worth buying on Blu-ray.
So, Army of Darkness is a good movie. Like I said, it has its moments. It's a good movie for Halloween. It's it's not too scary. It's an R-rated movie, so restricted audiences, of course. Be careful who you're watching. It's using scenes in there that's kind of iffy. Anyway, I recommend it. For Halloween. Alright, so I'll see you next time for my next movie reviews. Stay tuned, it is Spooktacular, so I'll be doing a bunch of movie reviews. I haven't decided how many yet. Probably they put up 25, maybe even 30. I haven't decided how many yet. For Spooktacular. I don't know, 30 sounds about right, because I'm pretty much going to be doing a video for every day of the week of this month for a Spooktacular. Look for that on my YouTube channel. Alright, well, go ahead and hit subscribe, share and like, of course. Watch some more videos. Hit thumbs up to support the channel. And leave a comment below so that say whatever you want to say. If you like it, I hope you do. Put a lot of effort into this. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.